Why do narcissists never find peace after provoking empaths too far? Even their lives are increasingly threatened. Hello, everyone. An intricate aspect of human psychology revolves around the empath's ability to accommodate and tolerate the actions of others. While empaths are often praised for their boundless compassion and deep understanding, it's crucial to dispel the misconception that this implies infinite patience, as it doesn't accurately reflect the challenges they face. It's imperative to debunk the fallacy that empaths will unconditionally tolerate transgressions. In intimate partnerships with narcissistic companions, empaths may confront particularly challenging circumstances. A steadfast belief in the importance of maintaining these connections can lead to an unwavering dedication to safeguarding the association, regardless of the consequences. Empaths consistently exhibit selflessness and benevolence in social circles, yielding to the needs of others. Their reluctance to establish boundaries stems from an inherent fear of causing harm or placing undue strain on interpersonal relationships. Unfortunately, those who perceive this altruism as an opportunity to transgress empathic boundaries may take advantage of it. Nevertheless, even the most enduring empaths reach a critical juncture when their generosity is depleted. The persistent violation of personal limits and relentless pressure on their psychological resilience lead them to a profound realization: the imperative need to free themselves from the control of their perpetrators. After enduring relentless mistreatment, empaths summon the inner fortitude necessary to liberate themselves from the constraints that have ensnared them during moments of extreme exhaustion. This transformation is not indicative of weakness. Rather, it stands as evidence of their tenacity and resolve. As we explore the intricate journey that unfolds when empaths find themselves on the verge of their limits, delving into the complexities of human experience provides an opportunity to understand this intricate process. Let's begin our investigation, assuming you are ready, with the recognition that narcissists never fare well when empaths are pushed beyond their boundaries. Disregarding benevolence becomes a complex dance between an empath and a narcissist. Picture a carefully choreographed sequence where empaths, known for their boundless benevolence, decide to withdraw their generous interactions from narcissists. With hearts as vast as the cosmos, empaths are naturally inclined to assist those in need, whether they are fellow humans or untamed creatures. However, this virtuous attribute transforms into a delicate weapon when confronted with individuals lacking scruples. After enduring a relentless barrage of mistreatment, the empath adopts a defensive stance by discreetly withdrawing their helping hands. Imagine a hypothetical connection where you, the empath, consistently provide care and nurturing as the perpetual giver. Picture yourself navigating life's turbulent waters alongside a companion who, unfortunately, is an unabashed narcissist, avoiding any form of reciprocity. It is only natural to feel compelled to voice discontent about this evident disparity. Empaths do not possess an inherently demanding nature. Rather, they advocate for the belief that a harmonious partnership relies on a balance between reciprocity and contribution. A mutually beneficial partnership is forged through the fulfillment of both parties' needs. Unfortunately, this ideal scenario often eludes empaths in narcissistic relationships, which are characterized by self-indulgence. While there's nothing inherently wrong with benevolence, it's crucial to exercise discernment regarding one's financial means and establish prudent limits to protect against those who might take advantage of generosity and thoughtfulness. 2. The empath's silence. Integral to the empath's persona is the skill of attentive attention, finely honed and perfectly executed. Their empathetic wellspring becomes an alluring source for those seeking solace. However, Even the most empathetic souls have their limitations. Over time, empaths find themselves overwhelmed by the ceaseless chatter of narcissistic voices. As the hour for self-expression arrives, the time for attentive listening diminishes. During life's storms, empaths, with all their listening prowess, also yearn for a confidant. It's a profound realization for these discerning listeners to discover that the sea of narcissistic indifference drowns out their own voices. This is particularly true for narcissists who have long reveled in having a captive audience. The exhausted empath's heart signals the end of the era of attentive listening, making way for a chorus expressing their own sentiments. Third, the inner sanctuary of empathy. A transformation unfolds. Once an expansive sphere, the realm of empathy undergoes a significant metamorphosis when empaths cease their ceaseless pursuit of deciphering the intricate thoughts of narcissists. Driven by unquenchable curiosity, empaths adeptly navigate the personalities they encounter daily. Displaying keen observational abilities, they decode the enigmatic language of bodily signals, surpassing superficial evaluations to unveil the fundamental nature of people. Empaths explore realms that others fear, forging connections that transcend conventional understanding. Nevertheless, the burden of assimilating, scrutinizing, and justifying the shortcomings of others gradually takes its toll. Once perceptive and perpetually attuned to the human condition, the minds of empaths undergo an enigmatic transformation that closes the doors to comprehension. Having weathered mistreatment, dishonesty, and acrimonious encounters, empaths develop an inability to empathize with the actions and imperfections of others. Mirroring empathy within the crucible of torment is the fourth point. Empaths, driven by an innate desire for self-preservation, find themselves compelled to replicate the very behaviors they once despised in their narcissistic tormentors during moments of intense agony. Having faced the consequences of their perpetrators' wrongdoings, empaths undergo disconcerting introspection concerning the narcissistic lexicon. Inescapably, the narcissist witnesses the empath as a disconcerting reflection of their own deeds perpetrated without consequence against empaths. Operating on a double standard, the narcissist remains oblivious to their own transgressions, but erupts in rage at the slightest hint of reciprocity. It's a characteristic of the human condition that individuals often reveal facets of themselves they previously despised when pushed to their limits. Despite their intrinsic virtue, empaths are not exempt from the complexities of the human condition. The inclination to confront those responsible for their harm is a universal truth that transcends the bounds of empathy. The fifth point is the waning of empathic brilliance. Empaths, shining examples of compassion in our self-absorbed contemporary culture, possess the extraordinary ability to spark optimism and motivation. Their contagious optimism lifts the spirits of all fortunate enough to encounter them. However, akin to a perpetually burning light bulb that eventually loses its brightness, the exuberance felt by individuals with exceptional empathy diminishes, resulting in a desolate state of emotional exhaustion. Empaths find their reservoirs of strength depleted, rendering them unable to illuminate those mired in desolation. During periods of darkness, empaths undergo episodes that can endure for weeks or even months. Sixth, an unadulterated deluge of empathetic ideas. Empaths, typically exemplified through measured discourse and delicate language, serve as advocates for positivity, championing ideals such as justice, love, and peace. However, beneath their composed demeanor lies a truth. The power of language can either shape or mar the well-being of an individual. There are moments when empaths, fatigued by self-restraint, forsake their measured discourse and unveil unfiltered realities. In such instances, The compulsion to saturate the world with positivity takes a backseat to the unvarnished expression of their emotions. 7. The gradual liberation of the humanitarian. Picture an empathic individual undergoing a slow yet profound transformation, from embracing the world empathetically to gradually withdrawing from their immediate surroundings. Empaths prioritize their own emotional sanctuaries and cease extending their emotional tendrils into the turmoil that surrounds them. The burden imposed by adverse influences, mistreatment, and the relentless pressures of existence becomes overwhelming. They are not ensnared by apathy, but rather by an elevated sensitivity to their own emotional landscapes, an inward term that perplexes those unable to decipher their intricate journey. In the quest for solace, empaths realize that prioritizing their well-being over ceaseless giving alleviates their suffering. Have you ever reflected on the possibility of being an empath? When have encounters with narcissists tested your patience to the point of exhaustion? If so, share how you navigated the situation. Drop your thoughts and experiences in the comments. Encourage like-minded empaths to subscribe and activate the notification system. Upon entering this platform, I extend my sincere gratitude for your engagement in this intellectual exploration of the intricate boundaries of empathy. How narcissists harm their loved ones when anger arises in the relationship. Narcissistic individuals take delight in causing harm to others, manifesting an irrational and indifferent disposition. This desire for admiration and attention from others is referred to as the narcissistic supply. This provision comprises reactions that are both favorable and unfavorable in nature in relation to their narcissistic conduct. Their ego is nourished by compliments, affection, attention, and adoration, in addition to anger, rage, and suffering. Exposing oneself to the notion that the narcissist has achieved no success will incite adverse emotional responses. They are apprehensive that your success may result in the theft of what they consider to be their rightful property. Potentially hurtful remarks, such as, "Your good fortune was merely coincidental," or, "I wish you total ruin," may follow. These adverse statements merely demonstrate their envy and indiscernible conduct, disregarding their adult status. Narcissists are characterized by a range of negative attributes, including envy, deceit, self-harm, and wrath. They ascribe the results of your diligence and accomplishments exclusively to fortuitous circumstances or fortuitous events. It is a triumph in the eyes of narcissists to accomplish their objective of eliciting emotion in others, irrespective of the reaction. Their primary motivations are dominance and control over others, not the energy or resources they contribute. They achieve this manipulation without resorting to explicit accusations of malfeasance or soiled hands. What should one anticipate from them? Prior to proceeding, I wish to extend my sincere appreciation to all individuals who have viewed this video. Please share the content with your family and friends if you find it to be beneficial. Doing so will help fund the expansion of this channel. Furthermore, I urge any newcomers to subscribe and activate the notification chime in order to be informed of forthcoming uploads. The focus of today's discourse will be on the detrimental effects that narcissists inflict upon their instruments or targets. From the narcissist's standpoint, a source of supply may occasionally commit an error, which would then motivate them to exact punishment. Narcissists are capable of being readily offended, occasionally by trivial matters. For example, communicating with them in a manner that elicits negative emotions from them or neglecting to address their messages in a timely manner may provoke them. Their egocentric wrath is released when you disobey their orders or refuse to do their bidding. Whether or not they are adept at identifying faults in others is contingent on their present disposition. One must consistently remain vigilant in order to prevent inciting their outbursts, even when going about routine activities or simply existing. It might be adequate to set them off entirely. Particularly when determined to maintain control, the principal conduct of a narcissist is to deliberately deprive their supply. The widely employed strategy known as the silent treatment consists of an absolute absence of communication, affection, or concern. It may require an indefinite amount of time before they initiate conversation. In the eyes of the narcissist, this deliberate silence is an agonizing circumstance. They hold the belief that if something proves to be difficult for them, then it must be similarly so for you. A motivation for inflicting harm on others is to reassert their authority and control over the supply, which is accomplished through this form of torment. The narcissist anticipates that the victim will yield to their desperation and do anything to regain their affections under such conditions. The victim is most susceptible to this method of mental torment when they are completely isolated. Narcissists exclusively communicate and display affection towards the individual they perceive as their primary source. As a result, individuals will make significant efforts to maintain communication with the narcissist, even if it requires enduring a chilly and distant atmosphere. This is due to the narcissist's readiness to persist in the silent treatment for an extended duration. Moreover, they might discover comfort and joy in the company of others while preserving tension and solitude with a single person. The narcissist manipulates any source of supply they can attain by mentally isolating you and obstructing communication with others. They are able to exploit your discomfort, resentment, confusion, hopelessness, or fury through the protracted silence. Doing so gives them an aura of superiority. They may consequently cause you to feel alone and void-like for a prolonged duration. By punishing you for your reaction to their silence and simultaneously gaining narcissistic fuel, they are essentially attempting to accomplish the unthinkable. Narcissists become incensed when we resist their attempts to harm us and refuse to acknowledge or be affected by their actions. By adopting an absent-minded stance towards the narcissist, we communicate that their significance is diminished relative to how they perceive themselves. Frequently, narcissists administer punishments that would be intolerable to them. When mental starvation or another manipulative strategy fails, the narcissist becomes perplexed and enraged. It indicates that your authority is greater than theirs. As soon as we realize we are interacting with a narcissist, it is imperative that we sever all mental connections with them in order to prevent their words from ever affecting us. Narcissists aggressively seek to exert control over our well-being, financial status, health, and any other aspect of our lives that falls within their sphere of influence. This is precisely why it is critical to permanently eradicate narcissists from our lives. We effectively deprive them of the ability to cause damage or manipulate our thoughts and actions by withdrawing our mental support. Indeed, the narcissist is devoid of authentic emotional necessities. Their objective is to establish dominance by subjecting their prey to psychological torment with the intention of coercing them into submission and surrender. This deleterious dynamic negatively impacts both our mental and physical health. We, as individuals, possess the agency to determine whether or not we desire to participate in this manipulation. We possess the capacity to reclaim authority and cease permitting their exploitation of us. Rapidly regaining control of one's life after becoming entangled in the narcissist's game is of the utmost importance. By liberating ourselves from their sway, we reclaim our independence and decline to be further manipulated. Consequently, I believe that concludes the program for the day. We trust that the provided information has been of assistance to you. Kindly incorporate your personal experiences or insights into the section designated for comments that follows. Your time and participation